Hey everyone, this is Nerdy Gamer Daddy here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate the support. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to answer some questions like, what is Fortnite Battle Royale? Maybe some of you have not played it, don't play video games at all, but are kind of curious because you've seen or heard about it somewhere. I'm also going to answer why the game is so fun, why it's so popular, and also why the game is better than your typical shooter games of the past. I should actually probably clarify your typical multiplayer or competitive shooter games. So first of all, Fortnite Battle Royale is basically 100 players, 100 different players. These are actual people, not not an AI controlled enemy that you're fighting against, but actual people that you're playing against. There's 100 of you that land on this large island. In Fortnite Battle Royale, it's about I think it's about 6.25 square kilometers, and it's in kilometers because it is made by a company in Britain. So you are flying overhead, you skydive, and then you glide and can land anywhere you want on the entire map. Okay, so there's 100 players. It's basically Hunger Games, right, with 100 people, except there's guns and explosives. And that's pretty much the main focus of how to kill your enemies. Okay, but it is the same concept that once you're dead, and you're out of the game. You don't get to respawn. You don't get to go back into that same game. That game will continue on until there is only one person standing. There's one victor at the end. And when you get to that point, when you have beat 99 other players, you have outwitted everyone you've come across, is a great feeling, and it is something that people get really stoked about and really pumped about. I know I have every time, and it's just an exciting feeling. It is difficult to get that win, so that's why it's just such a sense of accomplishment to get to that point. Now, Fortnite Battle Royale is not the first, Fortnite I should say, is not the first to introduce the Battle Royale mode. There have been others. PUBG, or PlayerUnknown Battleground, is the original as far as I know. That's how I first heard about the Battle Royale type game. And I was actually really excited for PUBG. Now, this is going to go right into why the game is so popular and fun today. I heard about PUBG a little over a year ago, I believe it was, and the idea of having 100 different players land anywhere on this large island with limited weapons, limited ammo, and just trying to find those items to survive and beat your enemies, and once you're dead you're out kind of thing, and then basically just have that one last person standing. To me, that was something just super intriguing, and I wanted to play it so bad. I was following it, and I do not have a good PC. It's older, and it was a very basic laptop that I got. So I was watching some videos. I watched some streamers a little bit here and there, and I was keeping up to date on announcements for when it would release on the PS4, which at this time it still has not come out on the PS4. It is out on Xbox. I believe that came out like around November, I want to say, sometime around then, but it's still not on the PS4. Now, this is one of the probably the primary reason that PUBG is not nearly as popular as Fortnite, is just simply because they have been so slow at getting to all the major consoles. I mean, the game was on PC for several months before they finally got onto Xbox, and that's all they're on. Whereas Fortnite was a much newer game. They added the Battle Royale mode, I want to say probably September, I believe, is when they just first started the very, very beta testing of that mode. And I believe it was somewhat limited to who could play, and it started to become kind of popular and popularized and publicized, to the general public to play. Probably in November-ish, around that time, is when it was starting to really kind of starting to grow. And they were so quick to just they were so quick because they not only had the PC, they had the Xbox and the PS4. They had all the major gaming consoles or units. You had your PC, and now they also have it out on iOS. They are currently working on getting it out on Android, which should be coming up here soon. So it's pretty exciting stuff, but that is one of the primary reasons why Fortnite has, just totally taken out its competitors that are doing the same type of game, but their game is just so much more popular. Now, to give you an idea, if you aren't familiar with this kind of stuff, on Twitch, if you don't know what Twitch is basically a social media site that is for live streamers for gaming mostly. There is some other stuff as well, but it's mostly focused on esports or your video gaming sports. It is actually the fourth largest social media site on the web currently, and their top dog for the longest time, for several years now, has been League of Legends. And I actually used to play that game quite a bit. I was a pretty decent player in it, and it is still number one currently. And I looked, I believe, the stats for February, and the stats for League of Legends was about 120-something thousand viewers, average viewers for that month. Now, Fortnite was second, and it had just over 90,000. You're like, okay, well, that's still quite a ways behind League of Legends, which it is. I mean, 90,000 is about 3/4 of what League of Legends had. Now, you got to remember, though, that League of Legends has been out for many, many years. It already has a large following, a large base. It is very well known on the esports side. It is competitive. They have professional teams that play for millions of dollars, and they have very well-known celebrities, basically, sports celebrities in the esports world. This is a thing. These people are making a lot of money. Some of them are making more money than your professional sports players. We'll get more maybe into that with Fortnite. Fortnite, probably the number one player right now is someone that goes by Ninja as his gaming handle, and he makes more than your professional sports players for sure. He's got millions upon millions of subscribers. He gets millions and millions of views on every single video he posts, and he posts videos frequently. I would say probably 2-3 videos a day that he posts on YouTube, and he gets just millions and millions of views on each of them. He's very well known. He is an excellent top tier player. He's very good at what he does. And anyways, so it is a big thing. For those of you who don't play video games, I know a lot of people, when they hear about like esports, they kind of scoff at it. Well, what do you mean esports? What? It's not a sport. There's nothing. It's kind of the same idea, just in a different sense. It's less physical, correct, but it is competitive. You need to have skills. You need to practice. You need to understand the strategies and the rules. And people watch it just like you do sports. It's the same thing. And there's a lot of people, obviously, from the numbers I've already given, that watch these games and watch the professionals play these games and root for their teams, and they root for individuals if it's an individual type game. And it's just, it's almost just as popular. There's just as much money involved. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, the video gaming industry and esports. There's a lot of money to be made, a lot of popularity there. So anyways, so that is kind of got off topic a little bit there, but Fortnite, that is one reason it's so popular, though, is because it just hit all the major consoles much sooner than the other ones. And then also this might be just about as important or as big a factor as well, and that's that it has a unique concept, you could say, to the game, which is building. And you can build on the fly. Now, what I mean is that you can build walls, you can build floors, ceilings, and ramps or stairs and roof pieces, and you can build yourself a small fort very quickly. Okay, this is a high priority thing. If you want to get good at Fortnite, you have to know how to build and build well and quickly. It is an important thing, and it does help a lot if you can get those things down. You always want to try and get the high ground. That's kind of one of the big reasons. And obviously, if someone sneaks up behind you, you don't see them coming up over the ridge of a hill behind you, and they start shooting you from behind, and you have no cover. They have the high ground. They obviously started shooting first, so you're already lower health. What do? You quickly turn around and you build walls. You build ramps. You basically just create yourself cover, try and get high ground for yourself, and then take out your enemy. Right, so it's very unique. A lot of different strategies involved with this game, and I'm loving it so far because of that. Now, going on to my last question I wanted to answer, which is why is it better than typical shooter games? That right there was kind of the reason. Is the fact that it brings in so much more strategy and uniqueness to the gameplay. I have never really played competitively in any type of shooter game, The one that I probably played the most of, which is when I got the PS4, was Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I didn't get super into it. I didn't play a ton, but I played it. But I kind of got bored of it fairly quickly. And any other shooter games I played, if I play it for a long period of time, I get bored because it's just the same thing. It's just run and gun. That's all it is. That's the whole concept with your typical shooter multiplayer games. You just run forward, you shoot, and if you die, you just respawn and you jump right back into it. Or you get hit by someone in your lower health, you just hide around a corner, wait for a few seconds for the regen, and then you're at full health and you go right back out again. But it's just the same thing. You just constantly rushing forward as quickly as possible all the time, and I just got bored. Whereas with Fortnite, there's so many elements that make it unique and just add a lot more depth to the game and strategy that I love the game. So let me kind of recap some of it and add on some more. So a recap: you land on a large island, like I said. It's over 6.25 square kilometers. You can land anywhere you want on the map. The items, the loot chests, and supply drops that drop from the sky are all random. Where they are, there's certain places where they're at, but they sometimes are there, sometimes they're not. You have no idea what kind of loot weapons or items they're going to hold, or what weapon is going to be sitting here, or if it's ammo or explosives, grenades. There's all sorts of different things, or healing items. So that's one thing. One big thing is the randomness. Large island randomness. You're playing with 100 different players are on the map. There is a storm that is constantly shrinking and forcing everyone to go towards a certain part of the map, forcing the players to get closer so that there's action always taking place, and eventually it forces until the eye of the storm is gone completely, so that no matter what, the game is going to be over in about 30 minutes or less. 30 minutes is not very typical. It's usually quite, 23 minutes, 25 minutes, and the game is usually over at about that time. So that's another thing as well that adds just kind of more depth to the game. Like I said, the building is a huge thing. That just adds so much strategy. You do not regen your health or regenerate your health. You don't get hurt and then hurry and hide behind a corner and for a few seconds, and then you regenerate to full health and you're good to go and just run out again. No, you have 100 hit points. When they go down, they stay that way until you can find either bandages or med kit, or you get shield potions as well. But those, when they go down, they stay down. They never regenerate. So that's kind of another thing that I like too. It's a one and done type thing. Once you're dead, you're out. So it kind of brings in that realism factor there. You have limited ammo, especially at the beginning of the game. So you want to somewhat conserve your ammo when trying to fight. Otherwise, you're going to have a gun with no ammo, and that's basically useless. Anyway, so those are some of the reasons why Fortnite is so popular. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Give me suggestions for maybe other ideas of kind of a content or news kind of video that I can do like this if you want. Just let me know. Make suggestions, comments, questions. I'd love to